Hey, hey, guys, what's up? Welcome to Zerg Silver 3. We made it. We're in the Silver Divisions. We made it through Bronze, guys. Oh my god, it's been a real struggle. Literally, these videos have been really long. If you made it this far, props to you. You've already watched like 20 hours of content. That's what it feels like, right? Jesus. But I'm sure you've learned a lot of stuff along the way. But here we go. Server 3. What does silver mean? What are we going to be doing differently? What's going to change? I should have actually changed my graphic before we started this game. I got to do it in the middle of the game now. It's not going to be very hard, but I could do it. My bad. Yo, Helsing, thank you for the prime. Appreciate you, man. What we're going to do in silver, though, is we're going to add on a minor scout. We're just going to check one first overlord into our opponent's base. Is our opponent expanding? Is our opponent not expanding? It's going to help a lot to identify, do we need to make a spine crawler? Or do we not need to make a spine crawler? Because it's going to change the game now to go, are we or are we not getting all in? So what we can do is we can move our overlord here, shift, move it like right there. What does this do? It allows our overlord to see the ramp a little bit and also see if there's like, expansion going down or whatever. Just get a good visual of the natural. Now, what else are we going to do? We're going to do everything we have been doing, but a little bit faster. Just a little bit faster, guys.
Thanks for B2GM, dude. D.
No worries, Art Vandalay. You scared me. I had to look and see if there was a video attached. But, thank you very much for the 25, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated.
It's okay. She's my stepmom.
Thank you, two breakfasts as well. Much love. I don't know. What do you mean? I don't know what that means, dude. I'm innocent. Okay. Let's go ahead and make a make a fucking gas. So again, what we went for is pretty much like 16, 18, 20. And now here's what we're gonna do as well with the build. Where is my thing? Okay, there we go. I found it. I gotta edit here really fast. So what we're gonna do ideally for Zerg is we're gonna shave off a little bit of time off of our max, okay? Let's go ahead and put our drones on gas, and I'm gonna alter the clock on top, okay? So right now it says 11 minutes, right? 11 minutes was bronze. 11 minutes is bronze, not anymore. Now what we're doing is we're doing.
In confusion.
Oh God. Thank you, people man, for the donation. I don't want to. No. Negatory. But what we're going to be doing now, though, is we're going to be trying to max out now a little bit quicker. So we're going to be maxing out roughly around 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, that's going to be our new. That's going to be our new goal. All right. Our new goal is going to be around 10:30. And look, our opponent has not expanded. So if our opponent doesn't expand, you know what we need to do? Add a spine crawler into the build. Just add a spine crawler into the build. Hell yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah. Let's add another queen. Let's get our layer going. And it's all easy peasy from here. Same old, same old. And now this is the only thing we've added into our build. Everything else from this point is going to be exactly what we were doing in bronze, but again, we're doing it a little bit faster. We're not trying to max out 11 minutes anymore. We're trying to max out at 10:30 now. So it's getting a little bit more efficient. Spend use number 5 SD, 5 SD, 5 SD. Make those drones. Make those drones. Build those units. And now look, we're getting attacked. And we saw no natural. This is perfect. We can now attack towards this. Let's go ahead and make our Roach Horn and an Evo Chamber. And we're good to go. Now let's go ahead and also maybe pull our boys back because, I mean, they're kind of way the hell over there. Go back to making another queen and injecting your hatcheries and making drones. Look at that spine crawler. Fucking owned, right? We'll talk a lot about that in a second as to why that made sense. But that scout just saved our ass. So now that we're in Server League, we're actually putting a little bit more emphasis on understanding what the hell things mean in the game. Okay, he's attacking me again. Let's pull our drones again because we have to. I mean, he's attacking me really fast. So we're A-moving our drones right now. Okay, and now we have the ability to make roaches. So we're getting pretty heavily attacked right now. Let's go ahead and, you know, make up some roaches. We can pull our drones back again. Put them back on the mineral line because he's running away from us. Make sure we got that drone too and put him back on the mineral line. We can build our gases. And we can get ready to build our expansion. Go set up our expansion right now. Okay. We can build another queen because, again, our queen died again. So we need a new creep spreader. Build another overlord so we don't supply block. And go back to making drones. Because, again, now we have safety roaches. And these safety roaches are totally fine. We just want to make enough roaches for safety. Now we can spread creep and inject our hatcheries. And if your spine crawler dies, like ours died, you don't need to rebuild it, honestly. Because by the time you rebuild it, your roaches are going to be out. And roaches are better than the spine. The only reason why we build it is because we don't have roaches early in the game to the point to when, you know, we're getting attacked. And if we don't have a spine, we could die. So let's go ahead and now saturate our third base because we have a good amount of safety roaches. Let's make another queen for now, a creep spreader. And we can put a creep tumor in our main so we can connect our bases. We can inject our main, click, click with shift. And put this queen now on our third base to go get ready to inject our third. And make some overlords. So again, we're not trying to supply block here, and we are currently blocked. But the hatchery is going to give us some supply as well when it's done. Now build some drones. Inject our hatcheries. Inject our hatcheries. Inject our hatcheries. Spread some creep. Spread some creep. Make those drones all the way to 66. Same overall idea of build again. Same build again for the most part, like the idea of it. Safety roaches at 2 base saturation. And then we're going to go into, at 66 drones, we're going to start taking our hydrogen. We're going to take our gases at our third. We're going to keep injecting. And we're going to go into hydras now to 120 supply. Okay. So we're currently at 66 drones. This is great. Let's also make a second Evo chamber. Wherever. And now let's fix our economy. Okay, put 3 drones on that gas. Put 3 drones on that gas. Okay, good stuff. Now let's grab 3 more drones off this mineral line and send 1 back to the main. Or the natural, rather. And now put 3 on that gas, and we need 1 more drone now for the mineral line. So we just made 1 more. We're good. Now we can grab 1 drone off of this base, so we need to make 1 more drone again to make a 4th base. And we can now make hydras to 120 supply. Hydras. Now I start 2-1 upgrades as well, because we already started level 1 with the roach speed for missiles. Now we can start level 2 missiles, plus level 1 carapace as we start hydra upgrades. Now let's get our queens out and let's start spreading creep again some more. 1, 2, 3 creep tumors, and another creep tumor spread, and another creep tumor spread. Okay, we're almost at 120 supply. There we go. Now we're going to transfer some drones from our main to our next base. Because we're looking for a new base to saturate, and because we're going to saturate super fast, we're still going to make about 19 more drones on top of that. Let's take one of these drones we just grabbed and tell them to go build another base. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and build some creep. Now we're getting attacked. Let's go ahead and move the mini map with our army, the safety hydras we just made. So we're moving towards him on the mini map. Now let's also go ahead and build or set up our injects. We can try and rebuild the hatchery with the drone we have up here. And now we can rally down here. And we can get ready to set up drones in a second. But look at our supply. It dropped a lot, right? Our safety hydras are dead. So let's make another round of safety hydras to go back to 120 supply. Otherwise, we might honestly die right now. So go ahead and make more hydras. Because again, we want to make drones off 120, not off of 90. Make hydras, make hydras, make hydras. Let's go ahead and grab drones off this and send them down to this base now. Make more hydras. Spread my creep. Spread my creep. Okay, we're getting attacked, so let's grab our army. Move towards the third base. We can rally as well towards the third base so my hydras get close to help here. Our queen just died, so we can rebuild that. And make more hydras. Make inject. Make inject. And we're losing supply again, so we gotta keep doing this. We can select all army and A move towards his army. Keep making a little bit of hydras because we want to stay around 120 supply. We have to fucking get to 120 supply to make drones. If we're losing supply, it means we're taking fights that we can't handle yet. So now we're at 122. Now we can make drones again. There we go. Spread our creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. And our drone count now is at 75. It's almost done. We can inject our larva. We can inject our larva. We can inject our larva. We're getting super close to being done with drones. We're 81 now. Let's go ahead and take our gases. And let's also take another expansion. We can get another queen as well because our creep spreading queen died. So let's get another queen to spread creep again. And drone a little bit more to, there we go, boom, 85. Now going right back into making hydras. Right back into making hydras. All game now. Let's make some overlords so we can actually supply, make open supply to do it. Let's make an infestation pit so we can get ready to go to a hive so our upgrades can go beyond level 2. We can start level 2 weapon, or carapace as well. Our weapons is done until we can get a hive out. Let's saturate our gas. Saturate our gas. We're getting attacked. Let's go ahead and move my army this way and keep making hydras. Okay. Spawn more creep. 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 And okay, the base died, so let's go ahead and fix that. Make a new base. How's my drones looking? We're at 84. We're about to be at 83 now, which means one more drone's going to disappear when it becomes a hatchery. So make one more drone for the gas, make one more drone for the mineral line, and we should be okay. Now let's right-click this hatchery, mineral line. And we're getting really close to maxing out, guys. So I know we're maxing out really late this game, but it's because we've been attacked so aggressively the entire time. So we're maxing out super late because of that, which is okay. I mean, the idea of a max out at 10:30 represents you don't get attacked until 10:30. Like, both players are playing a passive game. So this is definitely not a passive game. Let's go ahead and make hydras again. And we're getting very close to maxing out. So now we have a hive on the way. Let's take 2 hydras. One go along the bottom side of the map to check bases. One go along the top side of the map to check bases. And we want to see where our opponent might have bases. Let's go ahead and set up our creep spread again. Creep. 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 Let's go ahead and put some more creep on this side as well. Creep right there. Another creep team over here. And this creep team over here can do something as well. Make more hydras. And let's check my bases. Inject first. Inject first. Inject first. Main base still looks pretty good. Natural looks oversaturated. Let's grab some drones off of it. This base is about done. This base is actually oversaturated by a lot. Let's grab a few off. Let's grab one more off. Now we're at 16. Let's put these drones all down here at this new base. And we're good. Okay, look at the bases on top right. We have a bunch of bases on top right. So let's take army. Select the army. Attack. Shift. Attack. Shift. Attack. Shift. Attack. Now, what we're going to do from here, we're going to add in one more element to our build, okay? Now that we're hive, let's add in another unit. Let's add in a lurker den. Do we have to use this? Not every game. Not every game. We're gonna add in a little bit of scouting in the early game, and we're gonna add in a new tech path into the late game. Very basic still about how we're gonna use it, but it's an option for us at this point. Again, there's still gonna be no micro at all. It's just now we have options for setting up our base more powerfully. So let's go ahead and now grab our drones out of our third base that are oversaturated, out of the natural as well that are oversaturated, send them to a new base. And this base is pretty much fully saturated, so let's take another base. Okay, let's go ahead and make a new round of hydras because we just lost a lot of hydras that were in the fight a second ago. Let's go ahead and make another creep tumor, another creep tumor, another creep tumor, another creep tumor, and a creep tumor here. And that should be good. Now let's maybe go back to the where's missing creep at? Maybe like right here is a little empty, and maybe like right there as well. Maybe put another creep tumor like over here. Maybe the one like right there, so we can spread it down, and this one can go up. And now in the meantime, while we're waiting, let's make another round of hydras. Let's inject our hatcheries. Inject, inject. Inject, inject. Inject, inject. Fix my drones. Fix my drones. Drones are good. Drones are good. Send them down here. Let's take gas. Now on the lurker den, let's actually get both upgrades. And this is going to allow us to use lurkers if it comes down to it. Okay? And now we're getting attacked by something in the middle of the map. Let's A move towards it. Call it a day. Now, how many drones we got? We got 81. We need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spread some creep. Spread some creep. Spread some creep. Spread creep. Spread creep. Spread creep. And there we go. So now let's talk about what happened this game, okay? What happened this game? We're going to break down this one a bit more than the others because this was... I'm actually, again, kind of glad this guy all-in us because I know a lot of people struggle with, how do you deal with all-ins? I don't know how to deal with them. Here you go, dude. Here you go. Look at our scout. Our overlord gets over to his base, and what do we see? Let's go to my vision. We see nothing. We see a zealot. Again, we're not really looking that hard either. All we looked for, if I didn't see anything on the ramp either for now, I don't give a shit. It's not a big deal. What we did is we went to check to see if the natural existed. And it doesn't exist. If a Protoss hasn't even started a natural by the time our natural is finished, there's a fucking major discrepancy there. Just so you guys know as well, a hatchery costs in total 300 minerals plus 50 for the drone that gets sacrificed. So a hatchery realistically is 350. And a Nexus is just straight up 400. So it's very similar costs for the hatchery and the Nexus. And they both take exactly 71 seconds to build. Okay? So knowing that, if our hatchery has been spent 71 seconds building, and his hasn't even started yet, there's some situation there that means, what the hell is my opponent doing as to why has he not started a fucking Nexus? Like, where is it? What's going on? What's happening in this game? So the easiest way you can deal with a player who plays like this is just build a spine crawler. Everything else about the build is the same. All we do, because he doesn't have a natural, is we add a spine. That's it. Just add a spine. And now suddenly your build is way more defensible. And again, we go, if we, oh, gee, whoops. If we look at total supply for both of us, it's somewhat similar right now because the game is honestly just starting. It's okay. Look at income tab. Income tab is also pretty similar for now.
All in D's nuts.
Thank you very much, people, man. Appreciate you. And now here we go. Now suddenly our natural's starting to kick in with production, and now we're starting to take the lead pretty heavily. Now we're starting to grow a worker lead, and we're starting to grow a supply lead. And this spine crawler is made because he doesn't have a Nexus. There is no natural even started. It's not an economy build. This is not economical. This is either a proxy base, which we don't care about yet. We're not worrying about yet that kind of stuff yet. Well, that's when the Hydras go scatter on the map, right? When we're ready to attack. But this is either a proxy base, which if it was, this spine crawler is not going to make or break our build that hard. It's definitely going to slow us down a little bit, but it's not like, well, you made a spine. Looks like you're dead now because your economy sucks. It's not that bad. But what it does do is if this guy attacks us instead of making a Nexus, this spine is going to play such a big part in helping us not die. So now spine crawler finishes, and the reason, again, we made it because there's no natural for Protoss, and suddenly Protoss shows up. Sick. Queen's spine is now poking the crap out of the Protoss' army, and now because he's here with units, it's not a bunch of cannons. It's not bunkers. It's not Terran who has bunkers. It's not Protoss who has cannons. It's not Zerg who's also offensively spine crawler rushing us. It's just units. Because it's units, like Zealots, Stalkers, and a Sentry, we just grab our drones and we go A move because we're currently getting very, very aggressively attacked. It's okay if we lose some drones here because we have a faster way to recover. And even if I lose 8 drones, we're still just breaking even. And then not only to mention, look at production. We're making another 5. So we actually wouldn't break even if I lost 8 drones. I'd have to lose 13 drones to break even. Because by the time 13 would die, I'd still be at 22. But he's also making 1 probe, so it's whatever. Well, yeah, like making sure we don't die is the goal here, right? And since this is units, what I mean by that as well when I was saying no bunker, no cannon, no spine, if your opponent was bunker rushing you, or cannon rushing you, or spine crawler rushing you, it is okay to pull your workers to attack those things. If, like to just A move it, if the situation is that the building that's being built there is not done yet. If it's still currently being built, then it's okay to pull your drones. But if you were to attack into, like, let's say it was 3 cannons all right there done. If you A move that with drones, all your drones are going to die. They're all going to die. And it's not the time to pull drones then. So don't freak out against someone who can, or against someone who builds buildings. Just, if you see it being built, you can pull your drones then, like on the mineral, and be like, oh no, let's go kill that one cannon building right now. That's okay. But if it's done, fucking leave, let it be, let roaches clear it out. It's way better for you. But again, since this is units, it is units. It's totally fine for us to attack this with units. Or, sorry, it's totally fine for us to attack units with drones because it helps cover and protect the spine crawler. And the spine crawler really does a shitload of damage here. It's what we want to keep alive longer. So the spine crawler ultimately is the one killing the zealots here. And then it gives us, you know, and then the spine crawler also even pokes the sentry, which makes it super weak, and the queen finishes it off. And now, all said and done, we just lost. He actually focus fired both my red drones there. And remember how I said if we lose 8 drones, we'd still be ahead? We lost 8 drones, and we're still ahead. Not only by 6 supply, but by 4 workers. We're still in a great spot. We're still in a super good spot. So pulling those drones definitely saved our ass there. Because if we didn't pull drones there, there's a chance my spine could have died, and then my drones now no longer have a spine to protect them anymore. Which would be really bad. And now, watch the drone count from here. We're still cranking drones out. We're not making a bunch of lings because the spine crawler is super effective here. And again, why did we make the spine? Because he didn't have a natural early on. Now he is taking a natural. And again, this is whatever. We'll talk more about this as we get higher in the game. But the big part, I just want you to know what the Overlord is. I just want you to see, did he take a natural when you took a natural, or did he go for aggression, which means no natural? That's really what it means. So spine crawler is, again, once again, doing a great job. It's smashing a stalker again. It's taking a lot of damage, and we pull drones all over again, just like last time. And this time, the spine does die, which is okay, but it dies at the cost of this second push getting overpowered. And then now our drones are like mid-map, and we don't really care anymore. Number 1, we're still macroing roaches. And number 2, I don't want to chase a stalker all the way back to his base. So how about we just green box our drones and go, like, you only want to pull your drones and push shit away once it's in your base. If it's in your base, push it away, get it the fuck out of there. But once you do push it away, again, you don't have to chase him all the way to his mineral line. Just go, okay, we pushed him far away enough. He's pretty far away. Let's go back and mine minerals. Like, we don't need to chase a stalker all day. So we want to prioritize mining minerals, but we also don't want to die. So he's nowhere near killing us right now. So go back and mine minerals. And we eventually do. There we go. We go back and mine minerals. We even send that drone to go back and mine minerals as well. And now, here he is again with more units. He keeps attacking me. Now we're trying to take a 3rd base at the same time. And also, in production, like I said, we have roaches in production. We made these roaches off of 2 base saturation. We made them slightly faster. I made these roaches slightly faster than I normally would have, because as we learned in Bronze League, when do I make these roaches? When I'm fully saturated on 1 gas and a mineral line in the main, and when I'm fully saturated on 2 gases and a mineral line in the natural. But this time, I'm only fully saturated on the mineral line in my natural. I am not fully saturated on the gases in my natural. But why did I make my roaches before I made another 6 drones for the gases? Because he's really aggressive, and he keeps attacking me. If he wasn't attacking me, I would make the roaches after I made the drones. But because he keeps fucking attacking me, I made the roaches. This way, I don't have to pull my drones repeatedly anymore. So I made roaches ASAP when the roach arm was done, so I don't have to keep pulling drones off the mineral line. And we still only made in the range of like 6 to 8. In this game, I happened to make 8. And now the roaches are out. I go right back into making drones. And there you go. That's like the opener of the build of why that makes sense. Another reason why it's really easy to know. So those of you who are freaking out, like, well, Vibe, if that were me, I wouldn't stop making roaches at 8. I would make infinity roaches until the game was over. I would never make another drone again because otherwise I would probably die. How do you know you're not gonna die? 2 reasons. 1 reason, his army died as well. Every time he attacked my spine in drones, he lost every unit Both times, only one stalker lived. The second reason, he has a natural. Now, I can see it with my Overlord. I literally see that big red box with my Overlord, and my Overlord has not moved. It's just sitting over the cliff, and I see the Nexus. So the fact that he's expanding now, and the fact that I also killed his entire army at my base with my drones, I don't need to make 30 roaches to be okay here. I just need to make enough roaches in the safety range to stop him from attacking my mineral line with like 8 supply or 10 supply at a time. 8 roaches is plenty to... 8 roaches can easily beat like 3 zealots and 3 stalkers. It's not going to be hard for us to kill that. But what we can do now is we can now quickly fall back into the build we were doing before, which is off of our safety roaches, go into saturating a third base, and go from there. And if he were to attack, and let's just say this too, if he did attack me and let's say I was like, oh God, he actually is breaking my roaches. You know what I could do then? While my roaches are wearing his army down and he's wearing my army down, and I'm afraid now that my roaches are all dying, I could just make more roaches during that time. If it came down to that and I really had to, I could just make more once he starts to kill my roaches before I'm at my ideal saturation. But once I'm at my ideal saturation, I'm going to make units anyways. I'm going to make hydras, which are better than roaches. So I want to get to hydras as fast as possible, but if this guy never stops attacking and my roaches actually die, I can always just make more. It's okay. But don't get in the mindset of like, I got to just make non-stop roaches now forever because I might die. Because the thing is about StarCraft 2 is there's two aspects of this game. There is inefficiency and there's efficiency. If you start making army and you never stop making army off of a weak worker count, that is making army inefficiently. Whereas if you make army off of a good worker count, that is making army efficiently. And the difference there is your chances of winning the game with your first push are okay with an inefficiently made army. It's okay for your very first push, but you have 0 follow-up every time after that. But your chances of winning the game with your first push with an efficiently made army, because you have a lot of drones, it's once again, your first push is still okay. Not even that great. But you have a second push and a third push and a fourth push and a fifth push and a sixth push because you have the money to max. Again, it goes down the concept of everything we talked about before in bronze. So we don't want to get caught up making mass searches right now because we don't need them. It doesn't make any sense as to why we would need them. We've already secured ourselves with some roaches, so we should be totally fine.
What did the Pokemon say after sex?
I don't know. What did he say? Thank you very much, People Man, for the bits. Or that don't know. Thank you, man.
Vulvasaur.
Okay. Your Bulbasaur. Okay. Thank you so much for that insightful bit drop. Thank you, people, man. That was beautiful. Thanks, man. Okay. So you have so now again we're going back to the 66 drones. That's what the goal is, right? And now because of the way the build's flowing, also another reason why I want to explain something to you guys. It goes further into the realm of what I was just explaining about why we know we can make drones right now. So number 1, he expanded. Number 2, he lost his units that he had. Here's number 3. Okay, ready? Here's number 3. This is the third one. When I had to pull drones, why did I have to do that? I had to do that because instead of making workers, he chose to make army. Which means his economy is very low compared to mine. And if my opponent has a low economy because instead of making workers early, he chose to prioritize attacking me with units early, it means if he loses those units, which he did, he can't remake them very fast. So it's a step-by-step process of understanding the game in terms of like, okay, well, if he does something in the game, it means that that sets the pace for the rest of the game. That's what it means. So those reasons are why I know I can make drones right now. And again, this all comes from the concept of he went for a late natural. We scouted it with our Overlord. Early basic scouting. We're only scouting the natural, and that's it. We're never scouting anything else again. We're not doing advanced base scouting, composition scouting. We're just scouting no natural, aggression, or yes, natural, no aggression. We don't need spine then. And the reaction is we either do or don't build a spine crawler. So now we go forward, times 8 this shit, and look at the worker count. We are crushing the worker count again. We're also crushing the supply. And now we aim move towards his army. We don't even know what it was, but we aim move towards the army because, you know, we saw he attacked our base. So he force fields us. He takes a pretty decent fight there with decent force fields. He kills my army. Overall resources lost. Once again, same concept again. This guy is a micro player. We are a macro player. He is crushing me in efficiency of units. He's force fielding my units all day. He's doing all these crazy things. Yet, even though I've lost almost double what he's lost, I am still 30 or almost 30 supply ahead. Very close to 30. Or 20, rather. Now I'm 30 supply ahead. So it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how hard you micro. It doesn't matter how hard you micro. If you get out macroed, you always die. And again, we're letting hydras die. And why are we letting hydras die? Because we're not microing. Those happen to be aggroed, and these hydras were rallied here as new hydras that we built. So while he killed that army, we also built this army. We didn't micro shit. My army's fighting super fucking bad. And we're now down, still almost double what he's lost. 7,000 plus for Zerg lost, and only 3,800 for Protoss. This is awful for Zerg. But again, look at the economy and look at the production. I'm still overall, I have overall more money than he does, because overall this game, out of the whole game, I have probably mined like 12,000 resources, and my opponent has probably mined about 7,000 resources. And even though, if you take 12,000 and you minus 7,000 off of it, we're down to 5,000. If my opponent has mined 7,000 and you minus almost 4,000 off of it, he's mined almost 3,000 in total. Does that make sense? Like, you have to not only take resources lost, but also resources you've mined throughout the entire game. And our mountain of resources, overall, after you subtract the losses, we still end up higher because we're making economy the entire time. We're macroing the entire time. I'm not you know, being overly aggressive and just stopping my expansions to attack repeatedly. And now our army is once again on a move. And what's our Protoss opponent doing? He's stutter stepping back and forth, right? And what am I doing? I'm cranking out economy like crazy. I'm cranking out units like crazy. So again, look at this economy. This is 1,000 minerals for Protoss versus almost 3,000 for Zerg. Okay, his economy's kicked up a little bit right there. Now he's at like 1,800, so it got a little bit better. Now he's at like 2K because the space is fully active. But again, now look at the supply. We're still ahead by like 60, and it's just he kills my base and runs away. Nice little tactic right there, right? It seems great. He's once again fucking over my resources lost by killing my shit. He did lower my economy a little bit by killing that base because now I have a lot of long-distance drones. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because ultimately, between all the things that have happened in this game, I've managed to macro like a fucking, you know, a lot more. I've just focused on it the whole time. So we have a very high supply because of that.
A Marine walks into a bar and asks, "Where's the counter?"
That's correct. Lurkers, honestly, are counter to Marines. That joke is Wings of Liberty only. Marines have a counter in Legacy of the Void, Lurker, and Colossus. And then he just says, like, his last push, right? His last push.
A zealot walks into a bar and says, "My wife's for hire," to which the barkeeper responds, "Does she charge a lot?"
Thank you, people, man, for the bits. You're hilarious. Thanks, dude. Those are good jokes. And yeah, Colossus beat Hydra as well. But again, this is one of those things where even though Colossus, in theory, counter Hydra, if you have 80 or 90 supply with Colossus versus like 180 of Zerg, you don't win either way. Like, you're fucked. It's you're too far behind at that point. Too far behind, dude. You're too far behind. Okay, we got a Terran ZVT. Cool. We can start paying a little bit more attention now to what race my opponent is. Or I start paying a little bit of attention to it. We didn't care at all in Bronze. Now that we're in Silver League, again, all we're doing is we're scouting the natural. That's all we're doing. So, make a drone. Grab your Overlord. Go to his natural and go like this. Right click, hold shift, right click. Okay, that's it. We've now scouted. Now, when our Overlord gets there, it's going to show us what we need to see, which is there or is there not an expansion? If there is an expansion, we're not going to build a spine crawler. If there is not an expansion, we're going to build a spine crawler. So building a spine is based off of whether or not we see a Terran player building something up there. Now our second Overlord is going to go to the front of our natural. This is going to allow us to cover our natural in terms of like, well, we can see if we're going to get attacked before we get attacked. Be like, oh, he's running over a Marine over here, or he's running a fucking probe to build cannons. Whatever. And from that point on, scouting is over. Again, it's over. We're never going to scout again until like either a Hydra or a Roach runs around the map until we're maxed out in supply. We're not going to scout anymore. That's all we're doing right there. Okay, so we added the hatchery into group 5. Again, 5 SD, 5 SD, 5 SD. Let's make our spawning pool. Let's make our... what's it called? Our drones. Let's make our gas. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna, make another Overlord. We can put all of our Overlords can go there now. It does not matter where you put them. We'll talk more about Overlord placement as we get higher through the leagues, but for now, it doesn't matter. It's just the first two are what matters now. Again, we're building ourselves up as a player, so get used to doing things like this. Get used to learning how to read a player off the opener. So now what do we see? We see a Terran player who has 2 racks. That doesn't look a lot like an expansion build. There's no expansion, guys. So you know what we can do now? Build a fucking spine crawler. Let's build a spine crawler. With one of our first drones that transfers to our natural, build a spine. There's no expansion. And are we going to freak out now? Are we going to be like, oh god, make mass roaches right now? Are we going to quickly make the roach horn right now? Are we going to make 5 spine crawlers right now? No. We're making 1 spine. And that's it. We're doing the build as normal. Now he scanned the Overlord and killed it. It happens. But that's pretty good though for you because a scan is worth more minerals than what an Overlord is. Just so you know. A scan could have been a mule, which is worth like 250.
How's this for a Wings of Liberty joke? What is Idra's favorite computer company? IBM.
That's more like a... You say a drone or a probe? Oh, Idra's favorite computer company. Okay. That's more accurate. I thought you said a drone, not Idra. I was about to say, if we're talking about a worker, that's a fucking probe right there. Probes are the BM ones. Probes are dickheads. But, oh, thank you, Basic, for the 5. Much love, man. And that was a good joke. And Idra was a player, if anyone who doesn't know who that was. He was notoriously a very angry player. Okay, let's go ahead and make our gases now. Because we're good saturation on the mineral line, and we also just built our Roach Horn and our Evo. So this gas is going to support these things. And notice how we still haven't been attacked yet, and I fully saturated my natural. And my opponent didn't expand, and he opened up multi-racks. This is going to be pretty normal for you to play like this. Okay, let's go ahead and make a couple overlords. Make a weapon upgrade on roaches on this one and get ready to start a speed upgrade on the other one. Let's saturate my gases properly and let's grab a drone for my third base. And now what are we going to do? We're going to make safety roaches. 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever. Let's make arbitrary number. Let's make 7 this game. Again, we're not going to make 2. We're not going to make 22. We're going to make 6 to 8. We just made 7 just now. 7 roaches. That's totally fine. Now we're going to take another queen so it can keep spreading creep. So this one can eventually inject our third base. Take this hatchery and hit shift 5 to put it into our hatchery control group. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. Now let's re-rally all of our hatcheries down to our third base and you know, get our third base saturated. Also spread our creep some more. Let's make drones. We make creep tumors. And now this queen can now go down to this hatchery and become an injector for it by the time it's finished. Feels bad when you have been in the scene so long you have to explain who Idra was. Yeah. Well, like last time I talked about Idra, a lot of people in my chat were like, I don't know who that is. It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago. It's like 7 years ago. That's when he left, or like 8. It was either 7 or 8 years ago is when he left. It was a long time ago. Let's go ahead and make creep tumors.
Why don't you open double Evo and then Warren?
You can. You can. It's optional. We don't use... Here's the thing. We don't actually use the second Evo chamber until the hydrogen. But if you want to build it, fucking build it. Look, I just built it. Go for it. You don't have to... You don't want to use it, though, until you can afford it. Okay, so we're making more drones. And now we're at 67 drones. So what I'm going to do now... Let's make a hydrogen. And let's make a gas. Let's also maybe control click our eggs here and put them on our mineral line so we can properly saturate the space, because we need to saturate the gas now. Okay, get the gas going. And we're 1 over, so grab one off and set it somewhere else. That base needs 1 more. Cool, set it there. Get weapons and carapace. This base needs gas. We also need to build a hatchery. And now we're going to be at 62 drones, so let's make 4 drones. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Start making hydras now to 120 supply. So we can rally our hatcheries in the front. Grab this hatchery too. Rally it in the front, and we can rally our mineral line rally point to there, because that's the base we want to saturate next. And start making hydras. Start making hydras until 120 supply. Grab 2 extra drones here and send them to the new base. So 120 supply of hydra. Make a creep. Make a creep. Jimbo, thank you very much for the thank you very much, dude, for the gifted sub. It's like, okay, boomer. Yeah, right. I know. The scene when Idra was in it was pretty fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. I miss those days sometimes. Like, and all, like, you know, it wasn't just because of him. It was because of, like, back then the scene was crazy. Okay, let's make all of our injects. Shift inject. So inject, 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 inject. I'm missing a lot of injects here. Hold my queen. Shift, inject, 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 inject. Queen, shift, inject, 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 inject. Notice how I even select some of the drones? I don't give a shit. It doesn't tell the drones to do anything if all I do is go inject, click, 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 click. Drones don't have an inject. They don't respond to that command. Now let's make drones again all the way to 100 or to 85 supply. They're all still rallied on this base, and now we're going to want to build a new base because our main base is also mining out. So we need places to send drones to.
What's the difference between a roach warren and a table? You can't fuck a table.
Yeah, you can. Have you tried? That's why they call you Splitter Dick. No, thank you very much for the bits, Mon Capitan. Much love, dude. Okay, so drone. We're actually done droning. We're good to go. We're at 87 drones. We can make a couple of them into gases over here at my next base I just made. And we could even take another base. Now, let's make a bunch of hydras. Let's get ready to go to a hive. And let's take another, more drones to our new base.
1v1 with special when.
Thank you, people, man. When we get to GM, we'll 1v1 special. Just kidding. That's not actually a thing I'm setting up or anything like that. He's just being a troll.
Stay a while and listen.
That's right. Kane knows his shit, dude. Okay, so we just spread all our creep. Awesome. We can honestly take this queen and maybe go inject this hatchery now with it. We can get ready to take a hive now because the infestation pit's done. And now that we're having a hive, let's go ahead and start making a lurker den. We can go back to look at my queens again. We're missing so many injects again. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. Tons of injects. Inject, 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 inject. Nice. Hell yeah. And now, get our carapace upgrade, make hydras, and we just maxed out around 1018. Nice, dude. We're maxing out a little faster than we did in bronze on average. This is nice. We maxed out even a little bit faster than the quota this game. It's totally acceptable. Ideally, you want to do that as well. You want to try your best to macro faster than what I'm telling you to do. But if you can do what I'm telling you to do, you're still going to get out of silver because this is better than... This is going to take you out of silver. It's better than what... what is mandatory. Okay, so let's inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. Let's make another upgrade. We get weapons level 3. Get lurker upgrades. And, because again, we can now add in lurkers if we need to. No scout, you sure? Yeah, there's no need to scout again. Guys, silver players don't play efficient. Trust me. Now we see where his base is. There's a third, so let's go A move, shift A move, shift A move, shift A move, shift A move. Why are we doing this? Because there's walls. We want to not make our army stupid. We want to make sure our army always goes to the right spot. So if we A move there first, our army will kill the wall, and when it's told to now go there, it won't get dumb and go like, where do we go? Okay, so now during the fight, what are we going to do? We're going to macro. Macro. We're going to just macro, guys. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, inject, inject. Inject, 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 inject. Fix my economy. Where am I fucking up? Right there. Grab some drones off. I know I grabbed too many off, but guess what? It's okay. As long as it's not in the red, it's good. Because you don't want it to be inefficient like that again. So even if I grab 3 drones instead of 2, it's not in the red. It's going to go to a new base where it's also not in the red. We're not mining crappy income here. Let's go and build a hatchery. Let's spread our creep again. Let's go and make another round of hydras because we can. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Saturate my gas. Grab my 1 drone, shift click 2 more of them, and send them to that gas. Now we're good. Hell yeah. Nice. Nice, dude. We can take all our hatcheries. We just added all our hatcheries into group 5. Rally here now, because this is probably going to be the next base if I have to make more drones. What do my drones look like? We need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to injecting. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. Inject, 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 inject. And inject, 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 inject. Select all army. Let's A move his main base. Why? Because we have a lot of units here that are sitting here doing nothing. Might as well. Okay. And now what are we going to do in the process? Let's start an upgrade. We just injected. How about we spread our creep again? Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Spread creep. Spread creep. 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 And we can do a creep through my main. Just to, like, cover that area. And there we go. Again, scouting your opponent's main base doesn't matter if your opponent plays inefficient. And the first time we're really going to truly start scouting the opponent's main base is going to be in Platinum League, because in Platinum League is the league where I would say players most often of the time don't play efficient. Usually they don't, but every once in a while they might. And you can scout their main and you can look at composition. And it like we'll start reading builds a little bit more thoroughly. It's gonna like basically we're gonna do very basic composition and base scouting in Platinum League, and then in Diamond League we're gonna elevate that process even more, and we're gonna go for advanced scouting and like how to read a player essentially. And then in Master it's gonna get even more intense. Like we're just gonna basically go for very 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 basic base scouting in Platinum, but in Gold, Bronze, and Silver, no base scouting. Gold is going to be pretty much the same scouting that we have in, for the most part, very similar. We're going to only do one other thing in Gold League, which we'll talk about when we get there. But in Silver League, all we do is scouting, scout the natural, go back. So you just want to know if he expanded. Because let me tell you something. If he did or didn't expand, it tells you so much information just by that. Here's an example. If my opponent did not expand, that means my opponent is doing one of two things. He's either teching really hard to something, or number two, he's going to attack me really hard with something. So it means he's going to have a low economy with high tech really fast or with aggressive attack really fast. However, if he does expand, he's not doing either of those things because he can't afford it. You don't have infinity resources inside StarCraft 2, and if you prioritize an expansion over your gas, which means your gas is delayed, you can expand and not and have late gas, which means all your tech is late, like later in the game. Whereas if you don't expand and you make your gas first, you can definitely tech quicker, and you can use that investment of your gas instead of your expansion to tech up to something. But either way, it doesn't matter because, again, what we're doing is we're macroing like a fucking beast. And if someone doesn't expand and they don't all in us, their build is just very inefficient. So logically, what we're going to do if someone doesn't expand is prepare for an all in by making a spine crawler. You don't need to scout to have an idea. I don't need to scout. I'll just say this. Look at the supply at like 9 minutes. I don't need to scout to know that our build is probably going to have a 50 supply above my opponent at like 9 minutes. There's no need to scout to know this. Because we've already scouted what we needed. Look at my build. Look at the supply. How did I know that that's how that would be? We're like roughly 50, what is that, like 57 supply above him? How did I know that's how that would be? Because this dude didn't expand until late. He opened up double barracks, which made me make a spine crawler, which meant his expansion was super, super late. And if his expansion's that late, that's why I'm so far ahead already. I already know I'm super far ahead. And if I'm gonna have like almost 100 supply over my opponent, if he shows up with Banshees, if he shows up with Battlecruisers, Ravens, Liberators, Tanks, Thors, Hellions, Widowmines, Marauders, Marines, Ghosts, I don't care, whatever unit you can think of as Terran, I'm going to win the fight. Because you can't beat an army that is like, if your army is 40 supply and your opponent's army is 120 army supply, you don't win that fight, regardless of what you have. Like, you're going to get destroyed. Especially if the unit that I have is a very easy A-move friendly unit, which is a Hydra. About the only way he would win that is if he had like 40 supply of Blue Flame Hellion and I had 120 supply of pure Zergling. Then sure, maybe. Because area of effect damage there would destroy Zerglings. But obviously we're not making Zerglings, we're making Hydras. And 120 supply of Hydra would beat literally anything 40 supply of Terran. The only way he would not die is if he had cloaked units that were not revealed, and I never revealed it until my Hydra army died, or if there was like a bunch of tanks on the high ground that just shot my Hydras and then my Hydras never got up the ramp quick enough. But either way, you know what is going to happen? With the macro that we have, I can remake the army as fast as it dies because 40 army supply killing Hydras is going to kill it so slow that I can remax faster than it dies, which means I can maintain 200 supply the entire time. And what does that mean? I can stay maxed out forever. So again, scouting, why? Doesn't mean it, like the point is we're building ourselves up to understand what a proper game is throughout the series. We're not freaking out and overreacting to things that don't matter. That's the whole point of everything. There's a fucking muffin on my mouse pad. Oh my god. Crumbs of muffin. Sorry. Okay, so let's hit play now, and let's see ×8 like the supply values here. Look at this. Look at this shit, dude. Heavily in favor of Zerg here, right? And remember how we talked about maxing out 11 minutes for bronze? Now we're maxing out at 10:30 for silver. That's what I'm saying. Remember how I said I'm going to reference this. I'm going to reference this a few times throughout all of my series. But do you guys remember how I said I genuinely believe that if you do what I said to do in just bronze, you could honestly get to Platinum League doing that. You could definitely get Gold League. You might even get Platinum League doing that. You wouldn't win every game. You'd lose quite a bit when you get higher up. But you would, I guarantee, if you mastered what I showed you in bronze, just bronze, you could get to Platinum with that. No, 0 scout, 0 micro, everything. And the reason why is because look at this. Look at Silver League, for instance. This guy is still at 136 supply at 11 minutes. That is very... 200 supply versus 136? 200 supply is going to be hard as shit to deal with. And it's not even just the first 200 supply. It's remaxing repeatedly. So now here's what the fight looked like. We get over to his base. And our Hydras are on A move. I did not set up this concave. They did it themselves. I just A moved his base. And he just doesn't have enough. He also went Viking Marine, which is going to be rough against Hydra because that's not a good composition against Hydra. We'll talk more about what's good against what later on. And the tanks also are not sieged, unfortunately. Which means this is even harder. But yeah. And our opponent just breaks at this point. And although our Hydras did a lot of damage and killed most of his stuff, and although we barely won the fight, I would say we have a lot of Hydras that are almost dead. And you know, if he just had a little bit more units, he probably could have killed all my army. But doesn't matter because look at our supply. Even though we just lost almost our entire army, we're already remaxed again. And look what we also have: 8,000 resources in the bank. So we can remax again, even if that army died right now. And that's not even including the amount of time between now. And if we were to lose 2 armies, think about this. How much time would it take for us to lose this new army we just made and then remax again with the current bank that we have and then lose that army? How much time would that take? I would say that would probably take like 3 minutes to go through that process. And how much more money am I going to have in 3 minutes? I'm going to have 9,000 more minerals and 4,500 more gas in that bank. I'm going to make money faster than I lose it on average, which is why I can stay maxed out constantly. And again, for those of you who don't know this, these numbers up here represent your income per minute. So that's where I got 9,000 and 4,500 from. If we talked about 3 minutes, and there you go. It's just efficiencies. It's just doing efficiencies in your build. Just keep doing efficient stuff as much as possible. Efficiency in your build. Okay, random guy. That's fine. Not a big deal. We're still gonna scout the front of his base. It's all G. It's all G, guys. It's all good. I picked StarCraft 2. I was playing Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition 2, but was liking the rock paper scissors. Wasn't liking the rock paper scissors thing from AoE series. So I think Blizzard RTS are definitely the most fun. I like them a lot. They're really fun. Now here's what we're gonna do with this base. We're gonna click towards the base, hold shift, click here. Okay? That's what we're gonna do. Now we're going to take our second overlord again, and we're going to, you know, check out our, or run it to the front of our natural. We're going to expand. Take our expansion. Take that. Shift 5 my hatchery into the control group. So now both my hatcheries are in shift 5, or in group 5. We're going to make our pool.
Oh,
Yo, Choo Choo, thank you very much for the 15-month resub, dude.
Vibu happy.
Thank you, dude. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and re-rally to my natural because we're fully saturated in the main. And now look at our overlord for a second, okay? Watch our overlord. Well, first of all, we're going to make queens. We're not going to stop macroing. Okay, so when I say this, I don't want you to stop macroing. Keep macroing. It's very important. Make drones, make queens. While you see this and you go, oh, hey, guys, no overlord. Oh, God. I mean, sorry, no expansion. What do? We build a spine crawler. Just build a spine crawler. That's all we're doing. Build a spine crawler. And now go back to doing your build as is. Am I gonna freak out and go, shit, what does he got? Is it proxy 4-gate? Is it proxy Rax? Is it Dark Templar Rush? Is it quick battle cruisers? What is it? No, I don't care about any of that, because if we do something efficient, we can definitely get out of this situation in a positive way. The amount of games you're gonna lose because someone plays an efficient all-in is gonna be very low in Silver League. Very low. And usually when you lose to people like that, it's because they don't actually belong in Silver League. The average silver player is going to play all-ins very, very inefficiently. So now what we can do, because we're not sure what it is, we have no idea, we don't know what race he is, let's go ahead and do this. When our first inject pops off our hatcheries, we can spend our money for, again, we're prioritizing mineral lines first and our larva first. We're now going to build a roach warren. We can build a evo chamber. And we can build a evo chamber. And the way I did it was I built my buildings all together, but I gapped. You see how there's one little green spot where the little circle is right here? I gapped my roach warren to my first evo chamber up by 1. So now I have a queen that can go in and out of the doorway. Just like that. And now I can spread creep. And now I also have a wall, so it's going to make it really easy to not die to an all-in. Regardless of what it is. I have no idea what it is. Does it matter? Not really. We'll be okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and, because why am I confident that we're going to be okay as well? If you guys are like, Vibe, how the fuck do you feel like you're going to be okay? Like, you don't know anything that's going on right now. You want to know what I do know what's going on? Every second that this guy doesn't attack me, I'm getting further ahead because he has no economy. He might as well be AFK at this point. Okay, so I just made all my drones. All my drones are made for this base, and now I'm making roach speed, roach weapons. And let's make, again, like, let's make 6 roaches this time. The first time we made 8. Second time we made 7. This time we're making 6. Anywhere between 6 and 8. I think I actually just made 7 again. It's whatever. It does not matter. Now let's take another base. Take a drone off. Go take our 3rd base. Keep spreading creep. Vibe doesn't see race. I don't see race, guys. Let's go ahead and inject, inject, another inject again, and we also missed one here. We didn't queue it up. Inject it again, and now I actually have 6 roaches. I only built 6. So now, make drones for my 3rd. Am I gonna die right now? Probably not. Am I afraid of anything that can happen right now? No, because you need to keep your cool and actually learn how to macro more than overreact. Overreacting, if you overreact as a player, you allow other players to take advantage of you all the time when they do weird shit. You don't want to develop that as that's a bad habit. That is a bad habit. Okay, so now what is my drone count? 58. We're almost done. We're almost at the ideal position we want to be at. We can make our Hydra in because we're fully saturating our third right now. We're still making drones. And we're going to take our gases right around the time when we hit 66. Okay, let's go ahead and inject. Let's inject. Let's also make another queen so I can get more creep spread because now this queen needs to inject this base. And I still want a creep spread. It's very important. And now we're at 63 drones. So let's take our gas. Take our gas. We can take these 3 drones back and just right click the gas. It's fine. Now I know he's Terran because he just scans my base, which is fine. I don't care. It's all good. Let's get Hydras with upgrades. Let's get weapons and carapace. And what's my worker count? 63. Let's get 3 more drones. Boom. Let's get 1 more drone as well so I can take it forward the base. Over here. And now what I'm going to do. What do I always do at this point? I'm going to fucking make Hydras to 120 supply. If my opponent does an air all-in now with tech, I have 3 base economy with Hydra versus 1 base air. If that is what it is. I don't know what it is. But if it was that, am I afraid of that shit? Fuck no, I'm not afraid of that. I'll crush it. Why? Because we macroed. Let's go ahead and inject my bases, inject my bases, inject my bases. Keep making Hydras to 120. Let's go ahead and make a creep teamer in my main base. And let's go ahead and also make creep teamers out in front of my base. Make 1 there. Make another one like right there. Make maybe another one like right there. Okay, we're getting attacked, guys. Suck my army, go there. Rally point my Hydras to this area. So now my new units can come help. And now, make units. Inject my base. Inject my base. My queen's dead. So, make a new queen. To then inject my base with eventually. Okay. Cool beans. Let's saturate my gases here. And, yep. We lost some drones, so we want to go back to 66 again. We want to go back to 66. And now we want to go back to the 120 for Hydras off 66 drones. So 3 more Hydras. And now let's go back into making drones again to 85 because we're at a good Hydra count now. So right there again, all we did was we got attacked, and all we did was we said rally point near the fight, select all army, and move the fight. 0 micro beyond that. It's just telling my units go there. Okay, we can spread our creep. Spread that creep. Spread the creep. Make drones again, all the way to mid 80s, 85. And you want to know what, guys? We'll go back and we'll look at this. We'll look at this game. We'll look at this game as well in the replay of supply. And if I had to guess, do I expect you to know this as a server player? No, I do not expect you to know this. But if I had to guess what my supply and his supply would be at 9 minutes, I would say my supply at 9 minutes is going to be 143. His supply at 9 minutes is going to be 59. 59 supply is what I give him. 59. I'm already ahead by about 100 supply. How do I fucking know that? Like, Vibe, okay, can you please explain why you know this thing? Still doesn't have a natural, guys. He still doesn't fucking have a natural. So that tells you a lot about what he's capable of. You can't do everything with nothing. You have to make economy to make supply. Which is why the whole series is based around this. Okay, so let's spread creep. And let's make more Hydras. Let's also start a infestation pit so we can go to Hive. Grab more drones and send them to a new base. Grab this base and add it into our control group. We can also even take another base while we're at it, because we're going to max out. Or we're going to start mining this base out too soon. Let's inject our hatcheries a lot. Inject our hatcheries a lot. Let's inject our hatcheries a lot. Let's make some overlords so we don't block. Did like 7 of them. It's fine. Let's get level 2 upgrades for Carapace. Let's get a Hive Tech because our infestation pit's about done. And let's also spread our creep again. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Send the queen through the weeds so I can spread further. Spread the creep. 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 Make a bunch of Hydras. And now we're maxed out. And now that I'm 200 supply at 10 minutes and 38 seconds or whatever, I bet my opponent is probably at about 69 to 72 supply. Somewhere in that range. 69 to 72 supply would be my guess. Now let's take a Hydra and let's make sure for a fact that we're not being bamboozled by a hidden base on this guy. So this is why I tell you to do this, because I don't expect you to be able to read a game like this. Like, to know exactly what you have, right? I don't expect you to be like, I know exactly what everyone has. Okay, let's go ahead and make our stuff and get ready to attack in just a second. Okay, we got nuked. So remake your drones that we just lost. We're back up to 85 drones. And remake our supply. And now that he's using cloaked units, let's make a overseer. So let's inject our hatcheries. Inject our hatcheries. Inject our hatcheries. Let's go ahead and get level 3 weapons because we just got a hive. Transfer over some drones to a new base. We can select our army and go attack where that ghost is. And there's no expansions, guys. I just checked the entire map. There's nothing. No expansions at all. Where's my queen that was creep spreading? There you are. Go inject another base. Inject another base. Now what's happening here? A move the army that's right there. Keep making army at the same time. Inject their bases. Inject their bases. Inject their bases. Okay. So our army is currently trying to fight the Terran player, right? It's okay. Let's go ahead and take another base. And we can A-move our army now towards the mineral line and re-rally to the mineral line because it looks like our drones are getting compromised here. Because, they are, like, you know, none of my units are there. Queen also died. So there we go. We're still at 84 drones. Let's make one more to go to 85. And guess what, guys? We're still crushing here. We still got a lot. We got a lot of supply. We're spreading creep again. Spread creep. Spread creep. Make drone or make hydras again, and now we're maxed out. Now we know he only has these 2 bases because I scouted. Look at the natural, guys. It's fucking not even being touched. It's not even being touched with resources. This dude is all basically one base owning me. So we take our whole army. A move, shift, A move, shift, A move. We'll call it a day. Call it a day. Let it be. Forget about it. Forget about it. Spread creep again while we're doing this. Spread creep. What are we going to do after we spread creep? We're going to inject our hatcheries. Spread creep. 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 We're going to inject our bases. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. And inject our bases. Now let's go back. Remember what I said at like 90 supply? Or what was it? I can't remember now. What did I say? I don't remember the numbers that I said. What did I fucking say? Look at the supply. I can't remember the numbers I said, but I knew I was going to be fucking massively ahead. This is after he did his tank timing, by the way. Where I lost more than he did, yet I'm 100 supply over what he is. I think I said at 10 minutes he's going to be between 59 and 62, or 69 and 72, something like that. And then I think I said he was going to be around 50 supply something at 9 minutes. I was pretty accurate on these. I think I said those. You guys would have to clarify in the VOD. I have no fucking idea what I said. I can't remember now. But I said something around that. I knew I was going to be super far ahead. And why does that make sense? Because he never took an expansion. He never expanded. And you cannot play. Like if you have one guy playing efficient, I just really want to convince everybody that you need to play efficient. That's really all I'm talking about. If you just play efficient versus someone who doesn't play efficient, you're going to overall come out ahead every time. Why didn't you make lurkers this game? You're correct. I kind of forgot about it. I should have actually made lurkers around the time when I made a hive. That way I could have used them if I needed them later. Lurkers could actually be effective if you get to the point to where you can't break someone. They're not bad for that. And then also lurkers are really good at, like, if the game turns into a base trade, it's nice to have the ability to make lurkers and be like, okay, let's burrow lurkers in a base trade and suddenly I don't die anymore. That's why I'm telling you to make lurkers, by the way. I'm not telling you to, like, do fancy lurker attacks all the time. It's mostly for, like, defensive base trades. But this game didn't become a base trade, so it doesn't matter. But yeah. Okay. So right now again, this is when he nukes me, I think, right? Does he nuke me right here? We'll watch it again for fun. Yeah, he nukes me right here. So I'm maxed out, and currently we're like scouting the map with Hydras or something. I think, there we go. The Hydras are scouting the map, and he nukes me. And then all my Hydras group up here. This one ghost right here literally kills the entire army of Hydras. That's like the perfect nuke right there. Look at resources lost. Look at supply. I want you to watch the supply really fast, okay? Look at the supply. I just lost 100 supply right there. Insta-dead. That's brutal. Ow. That hurts. But look at the supply. Even after the nuke, I'm still fucking ahead. And then within seconds after the nuke, what happens? We just grow up a ton of supply all over again. We can watch the nuke in real time one more time for you guys. Let's watch it from his perspective. This guy probably jizzed his pants when he nuked me like that. He's like, oh god, that was a huge nuke. Let's see it. Let's see that nuke. Again, look at resources lost. From 2250 for Zerg to what? What, it's like 9,000 something? This one nuke killed from 2250 to 9,600. That was fucking huge. That was a lot. And now the turn goes, time to all in. Time to attack. And what is he attacking with? He's attacking with an army. This army, genuinely, guys, this army is about the size of supply of like 42 supply here. This is like a 42 supply army. It's not that big. And by the time he gets back to my base, he's running across the map, okay? He's running across the map. And what happens by the time he gets to my base? By the time he arrives, we have 155. We're still already 100 supply above his army. Did you see the nuke coming? Yes, I saw it coming. That's why I kept my camera there. I saw the nuke. Guys, trust me. When I get to Masters League, I have fucking eagle eyes in this game. I can see observers all the time. I can see DTs all the time, and I can see nuke dots all the time. I'll teach you guys tricks as well about how to have eagle eyes in this game. There's actually ways you can have better eyesight in StarCraft. And again, we'll talk about it later when we actually talk about micro. Way above Silver League, not actually proper for Silver League. And then there you go. Our army is just, it's whittling him down, and it just keeps coming. My army just literally keeps coming. And he can't hold it off forever. And the reason why is because, again, look at income. It's 27 SCVs versus 84 drones. You can't keep up with that. We can lose 100 supply of Hydras, and then you do a timing attack right after with Marine Tank, and you still die. And the reason why is because all we're doing is setting up an economy and macro. It's rough, right? You would think, like, with that nuke, I should have fucking won that game, dude. You would think that. But there's a lot more to StarCraft 2 than attacking your opponent. For the last 12 minutes before that nuke, he was on 1 base economy. And I was on 5 base economy. Mining ridiculous amounts of income. And setting up lots of larvae to insta-remax with. We're setting up our macro. Constantly. But that was a pretty fucking juicy nuke. That was probably the best nuke of that guy's life right there. That was fucking fat. There was a big nuke as well in I think the Terran series we had. But that was a huge nuke as well. That was definitely a sick nuke for this guy. You know, Arachons, or Aaron CZ rather. It's Aaron CZ. Nice nuke, man. If you're somehow listening to this at some point, that was a fat nuke. Nice. You could probably go pro and Where's Waldo No, I have really good eyesight in this game. I can spot shit all the time. Like, watch. The next time I see a stealth thing, the next time I see something stealth, I'll point it out, but then I won't really react to it because, again, that's not the point. Just for fun, though. Okay, we're against another random player. You let your army die for content? I let my army die to prove a point. I let my army die to literally prove a point, which is even though I eat a nuke and it kills my entire army, I can still kill his army as he attacks me because I remax. It's not about your first army. It's about remaking it and remaking it and remaking it and remaking it and constantly remaxing over and over and over with what? Understanding base upkeep. That's what it is. Develop your base and then maintain it. Don't just develop it and then forget about it forever. Only forget about it with the micro for platinum and below. Don't forget about it with the macro. Okay, so first overlord once again goes to his base. Second overlord goes to my front of my natural, just so I can spot weird shit before it becomes a problem. Let's take our natural. Let's make sure we hotkey our hatcheries as well. So group 5, make a drone. Let's grab our overlord as well and go here, shift, here. Why do I do that? It's going to make sure I see the natural because I don't expect bronze players, or silver players, to understand overlord vision radius. We'll talk more about vision radius and things like more technical like that later again. But for now, just make sure you see the natural and then put your overlord over the cliff so you can hide it afterwards. So you can make sure your overlord stays alive longer if possible. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and build gas at 20 supply, roughly. So we're going, again, build is hatch, pool, gas. 16 hatch, 18 pool, 20 gas. If you fuck it up a little bit, guess what? Let's pretend I built a pool, or sorry. Let's pretend I built my gas. Instead of at 20, I built it at 22. Whoops. It's not a big deal. Build order, try not to mess it up as much, like try to definitely keep things flowing properly and how they make sense. But if you mess it up a little bit, it's okay as long as you understand the concept, because you'll have the right mindset to like knowing what you should be doing. And why am I taking the gas when I take the gas? When I'm fully saturated on the mineral line, and it's all I really care about. The concept is mineral priority, not a gas priority. But I'm still taking gas right after I have a mineral priority. Okay, so what do we see? Literally nothing. A pylon and nothing. So what are we going to do? We're going to build a spine crawler. Build a spine crawler because we see nothing at his base. Let's re-rally to our natural with our main and our natural, so we don't have oversaturated mineral line in the main. Let's make another overlord because we're supply blocked. We can inject our hatcheries as well. And now let's make another queen out of our natural because we want this for creep spread. And let's start our layer in our main because we want this for roach speed and also the ability to eventually go into hydras. And notice how my opponent still doesn't have a natural, guys. Am I freaking out? No. I don't care. It means he's probably going to attack soon, but it's okay. So what we can do is we can grab a drone. We can make a roach warren because, again, we did it after we have a good economy here. We did it after we spent our larva on our inject. So I could afford it and still spend my larva. I didn't make it before I spent my larva because then I wouldn't be able to spend my larva. I'd be broke. I'll make our Evo chamber around the same time as I make the roach warren. And I'll add my gas when I'm fully saturated. Boom. Nice. Let's go ahead and take a creep timber. And let's make more drones because we're not done yet. We need a little bit more. Let's also inject our hatcheries.
We require more minerals.
Is it worth massing Ravagers? In Silver League? No. In Upper Leagues, yeah, we're going to use Ravagers once we're in Diamond League. Again, we'll explain why once we get there. So let's get weapons. And weapons and speed for roaches. Let's get another base as well. We can start another creep timber. We can inject. And we can start making some roaches. This time let's make 7 roaches for real. So we just made 6 and let's make one more for 7. And 7 roaches. 6 to 8 roaches. Make something around there. It's great. Totally fine. Add this hatchery into my control group. Make a couple more overlords because again we're very close to supply blocking. Let's transfer a couple of these drones off the mineral line and send them to my third. Because right now we're just trying to understand getting to a max saturation mineral line and then moving on to the next base. Okay. Make our creep. Make our creep. Make our creep. Put our injects on. Put our injects on. And we're going to do this till 66 drones. Let's actually make another queen so we can keep spreading creep and have this queen go down to my third base. So that I can, you know, inject it. Spawn some creep. Spawn some creep. Spawn some creep. Make drones. We're getting close to supply blocking again, so maybe we want to make another overlord. Let's inject. Let's inject. Let's inject. Let's make another overlord so we don't supply block. We made like 2 more just now. Make a bunch of drones. We're really close to getting to the ideal drone count. So now let's make a couple gases and a hydrogen. And now let's take our final gas in the main base and we can just grab one of these drones that just got made. It's fine. They're almost done. Let's inject. 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 Drone count is almost done. We're at 65. We're looking for 66. We're super close. Actually, we're going to need to make a couple more because we got to build an Evo and another expansion. So we'll have to make a couple more again. It's totally fine. Let's make 3 drones for this base, for this gas right here. And now what am I at? 67. And that 67th drone is going to turn into 66 right here. Great. Keep tabs on it in top right. Now let's put drones in our gases and start making hydras until what? 120 supply. 120 supply. So 2-1 upgrades. Make hydras until 120 supply. Let's inject our bases too. And what do we do when we inject our bases? We spread creep. So we grab the queen, spread creep this way. Take a creep tumor, spread it. Take a creep tumor, spread it. Take a creep tumor, spread it. Make hydras to 120 supply. Hydras to 120 supply. We actually are missing a drone on gas and 1's extra on minerals, so grab it, fix it. Maintenance, right? We're maintaining our build. We're not just leaving shit bad. Okay, inject, inject. Inject,
I
inject.
heard if you build 2 spawning
Inject,
pools,
inject.
you get 3 zerglings per egg. How can I maximize my 410k profits given this info?
If only you did. That'd be crazy, actually. You know, that's not real, guys. Don't believe. If you're new to the game, that's not what he just said is a joke. Don't actually believe that. Okay, let's get an infestation pit so we can go to a hive. Let's get another base. Why are we getting another base? Because we're starting to lose patches in the main. We need to transfer them down here, and we're also making more drones because we're not done yet. We had 120 supply of Hydra, so now we're going back into drones again until 85. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and inject this base. Let's inject this base. Let's inject this base. Let's inject this base. Let's make drones. And now we're great. We actually went up to 90. A little bit excess. Whoops. It's okay, though, because you know what? We're going to eventually lose drones here and there while we make gases and stuff. It's not a big deal. Now let's make a couple overlords, because, again, we're getting close to supply blocking. And make Hydras. Now let's inject. Let's inject. Let's inject. Let's inject. Now let's spread some creep. Spread some creep. Spread some creep. Spread creep. Spread creep. Okay, we probably should pull this queen off and start making more creep tumors because we definitely don't have a lot of creep right now. There's so much open black space where it's just fogged out. So let's put a creep tumor there and go from there. Make 3 drones go here. Make 3 drones go there. And let's grab a couple drones off and put them on a new base. We can also take another expansion because we're going to get... We need more bases to rotate drones to. So now let's start a hive. Rotate drones to a new base that we just talked about. Injector hatcheries. Injector hatcheries. Injector hatcheries. Injector hatcheries. Oh, I took it off to make creep. It's fine. Now let's make another creep tumor. We just injected, so let's also make creep. Make creep. Make creep. Creep. And creep. And now this place up here needs some more creep tumors. I need like probably 1 going this way and 1 going this way. I need like 2 more. Hannah, thank you very much for the raid. What up, guys? Hello, hello. So let's put a creep tumor there. Welcome. Thank you, thank you. Hope you had a good stream. Creep tumor there. And let's make a bunch of hydras right now. Okay. We just made a ton of hydras. Hello. Okay, now let's take our hydras and go around the bottom of the map. And let's take a hydra and go around the top of the map. Yo,
B2GM is back.
mucho boost.
Thank you, Vibe.
Thank you, man. Mucho boost. Thank you for the $5 dono. Thank you, dude. Huh? What's up?
Mineral field
Oh, hi.
depleted.
Let's grab drones off. Grab drones off. Move them over to another thingy. This is Larissa. This is who just raided us, guys. Oh my god. Let's make creep. Make creep. Make creep. Make creep. Make creep. Make creep. And then max out. And now, where are the bases that we just scouted? Okay, there seems like there's a base there, so let's A move. A move right there. Shift A move. Shift A move. Now, forget about it. Forget about it. Let's inject. Repeat the oh yeah, we need to also make a lurker den. I keep forgetting to do that. Make a lurker den. Inject our bases. Make a new drone that because we just made a lurker den. Inject our bases. Hold shift. Grab the queen now. We have plenty of creep now. Inject our bases. Grab a drone off that. Take it off and send it somewhere new. That needs to be saturated. Build a couple gases there. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread the creep. This creep tumor is having a hard time spreading right there. Spread the creep. Spread the creep. Spread the creep. Spread the creep. If you ever run a situation as well where you're like, shit, I can't spread a creep tumor there, feel free to grab a Hydra off of like your new army and just go, hey Hydra, go there. So I can run through the bushes and spread the creep. It's totally fine. Okay, and what are we doing again? Injecting. 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 And spreading the creep. I guess it never ends, guys. You have to do this repeatedly. But you can get really fast at it as we grow through the leagues because you do it so much. This is like a constant maintenance for Zerg. Now what are we going to do after this? We're going to check our bases really fast. Needs to be fixed with 4. This base is good. That base is good. That base is good. Set them up here. Grab a couple drones and put them on that gas. So now we have 3 on the gas, and we have a lot of minerals still. Now let's go for upgrades. And again, at this point now, we have so many drones mining that it's okay if, at this point now, if we put them on gas first, it's okay. But you know what? Just for the sake of what we just have been talking about constantly, how about we just put them on the mineral line? We'll put them on the gas when we have 16. Totally fine. But again, at this point, I have 10,000 in the bank, so it really doesn't matter as much anymore. It's kind of whatever. Let's hold down the H key for Hydra. Remaxed. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna inject. We're gonna inject. Inject. Fix these drones. Send them somewhere new, like down here. Last space. We can inject. After inject, we're gonna spread creep. Spread creep. Spread creep. Look how much control of the map we have right now compared to what our opponent has. We have more than half the map covered in creep, and why do we have that? It's not because we're playing 400 APM Zerg. It's because we're prioritizing it. Our macro is the priority. And then, now at this point, right, we'll go back to before the fight started. And look at the supply. Look at the supply. Nothing has happened up to this point. I lost 6 resources. I don't know why either. I canceled the gas or something. I don't remember what the hell I did. Oh yeah, no, I canceled the gas because I was like, watch, we'll fuck up the build. We don't need the gas right now. And now we'll take it. Because again, that's not like going to make or break you yet. We're still trying to improve ourselves. And if you still make mistakes here and there, along what the overall build means, it's okay. What are we doing though? Mineral focus, gas follow-up. Mineral focus, gas follow-up. Mineral focus, gas follow-up. Spin the larva. Spinning larva is by far the most important thing with minerals properly being made. And we have this situation where nothing has died yet in this game, and we have almost 100 supply over my opponent. This is insane. And why do we have 100 supply over our opponent? Because our opponent is just not building workers as much as we are. I feel it's just because you get players in general who play StarCraft and they're just fucking around doing their thing. Again, it's totally fine, guys. B2GM is a guide to how to play efficiently. This is totally fine playing like this. If you're having fun and you're just doing your thing, it's all good. It's a video game, right? But if you want to play efficiently, you are totally capable of doing what we're doing here as long as you understand mineral priority, gas follow-up, and then make your units as you go, as we've been doing. Super, super, super strong. Panic is not one of our priorities. Exactly. We don't panic about anything. So this guy, think about it like this really fast. This guy did a build where his goal is what? 3 base Void Ray Stalker Zealot. His goal is a hybrid Stalker and again, if I were to talk to this guy in person, he'd probably be like, bro, I just fucking play for fun. And I'd be like, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to shit on this guy's build. I'm just trying to make a point in terms of macro. If your goal was to go for 3 bases with a mixture of like a hybrid army of Stargates and also gateways, you should not go for gas right off the bat in your base and then tech all the way to Stargates so that you can then sit there and eventually go into 3 bases. It makes no sense. If you're going to rush a Stargate out of your build and you're also going to rush Zealots or something out of your build, you're much better off attacking your opponent right away. Like, watch this, just for an example, okay? Just for the sake of an example. Our opponent starts his Nexus at his natural. Right now. So our opponent has already made upgrades out of the Forge, a council, multiple gateways, and units out of those gateways. This is what looks like an aggressive opener. And by the time my opponent doesn't even have a fully saturated natural, well, I'll tell you in a second. On the boss, thank you for the bits. Thank you, dude.
Thanks for being the man. Vibe. This series is how I originally found you. You should have been a teacher.
Thank you on the bus. Much appreciated, man. Thank you for the 500 bits. You are the best. Thank you, dude. But for instance, if my opponent just now decides, you know what, I'm going to start a natural. His natural is just starting. 71 seconds, really 67 seconds from now, it's going to finish. Look at our natural. It's already fully saturated, guys. So now if we look at the income tab, we are crushing our opponent. And all this money every minute that goes by is making him fall further and further and further behind. And why was this made? No reason. It's probably because our opponent plays paranoid. Or he just does whatever he feels like doing. There's no build order or whatever. There's no, it's not even about a build order. Because again, I think people get caught up in the mindset when I say build order, where it's like 20 supply depot, fucking 22 barracks, 23 factory, whatever. Like, I'm not talking about an exact build order. Okay, we'll talk about that shit in like Diamond Plus, like Masters. But we're talking about build ideology, build understanding. There is no emphasis on mineral first into gas second. We have 746 gas in the bank to do what? To make cannons, which cost only minerals. To make pylons, which cost only minerals. To make a forge, which costs only minerals. It does have an upgrade of shields in it, so that is a shield that is a gas investment right there. We have a council coming in. This is a gas investment. But we have a core, which is a mineral investment. We have gateways, which are mineral investments. We have probes going down to the natural, mineral investment. We have a nexus, mineral investment. We have zealots and pylon again, mineral investment. It's all mineral investments, not gas. So super delayed nexus. It just slows everything down. Yo, Artosis, thank you so much for the raid, dude. What up, guys? Hello, everybody. I'm actually wrapping up my stream here pretty soon as well myself. Probably. We're doing B2GM right now. I'm currently in Silver League. I'm doing Zerg as well at the moment. I'm doing all 3 races, though. So if you guys are someone who wants to learn how to play StarCraft 2, I highly recommend you go check out B2GM. I'm currently in the process of making a guide for every race. And if you want to know what your race is, all you got to do on my stream is type this. If you're Zerg, you type in Zerg GM. If you're Protoss, you type in Protoss GM. If you're a Terran, you type in Terran GM. And the bot will link you to a guide that is currently being made. And I'm going to do this all the way to GM for every race. But Artosis, much love on the raid. Hope you had a wonderful stream, dude. And welcome, everybody. How you guys doing? What up? Highly recommend you guys check it out, too. If you're really interested in StarCraft, StarCraft 2 specifically, I know Artosis does a lot of Brood War stuff. So people who are interested in StarCraft 2, highly recommend you check it out if you want to learn how to play the game and you want to like up your gameplay. But yeah, like it's just one of those things again where we're talking about everything we've learned already, which is priority of resource, which is also relating to priority of build. If we're both going to expand a lot, one of us is going for the expansions with the minerals, and one of us is going for the you know, the gas with the cannons and the mass tech. So one of us is going to have a massive supply lead over the other. This has nothing to do with anything. I scouted literally nothing. Like, no, we don't need to go down all these roads which pro players and masters players go down, which is like lots and lots and lots of things that StarCraft traditionally, when you think about StarCraft traditionally, you think of these things, but we're not going down those roads because we're not there yet as a player. We're just in, again, basic understanding of how to develop a build. And if you understand how to develop a build, you get situations where you're like, why am I 100 supply ahead of my opponent when neither one of us has fought each other yet? I don't get it. It's because our opponent doesn't have an efficient build and we do. And how do we have an efficient build? We understand what it means to have an efficient build. And anyone out there who's like, Vibe, I know I just joined the stream. I'm really intrigued. What the hell do you mean by an efficient build? Yo, bro, I highly encourage you guys to go check out those videos I just was talking about.
Yeah.
We talk so much about it in bronze, and we're still talking about it in every league here too. In silver.
B2GM yes less than 3 love you vibe always will.
Yo, Scorber, thank you for the tier 3 34-month resub. I love you too, dude. Thank you so much. But definitely recommend you guys go check it out. Again, I'm going to be uploading videos daily as I make them, so I am in the process of making this guide. Again, I made it once before, but I'm making a new one for 2021. The last one I made was for 2019. Okay. And we found out where his base is with our little maneuver here, and we go, cool, select all army, A move, because we're maxed out, and whatever happens, happens. And again, this is what the fight looks like, right? This is 0 micro from us. 0 micro. We're not looking at the army because it's not the priority. The priority is spreading our creep, injecting our bases, and anytime anything's dead, we can remax it immediately because look how much larva we have. We have 31 larva currently in the bank. And Vic fought maxed out Hydras with like 5 Void Rays. And that was just because Vic did a build that is not efficient. It has nothing to do with Vic being good or bad. If Vic was somehow watching the stream right now, yo Vic, I 100% think you could do the build I'm doing right now. In terms of like the Protoss version. You could definitely play the way I am. It's not that hard. It's not that APM intensive, guys. Zerg, the only reason why Zerg even has close to 100 is because we're holding down the button to make Hydras, and it goes like 700 at once, and then it drops back a bit. Because we hold down a button on the keyboard. This build really is honestly around the same APM as him. But yeah, Zerg is always going to have a little bit more APM because of the way Larva works. And yeah, it just there's it's cannons everywhere, right? It's someone freaking out saying, I am not going to get attacked by one Overlord with 2 Lurkers in it or something. You'll never break me. I have cannons everywhere. But it's not going to stop maxed out army. And the thing about it is while we're losing army here in his base, guess what? We're going to remax as we take the fight. If we decide to... There we go. See how the APM spikes as well? Like, check this out. Right as... Look at the APM right now. All we're doing right now is injecting our bases and, like, spreading creep. And now we're doing nothing for a second, and we're getting ready to remax. And now here comes the remax. Look at the APM when we remax. All we did right there, all we did when we made Hydras, is we held down H. 5S H. Held down the button, and suddenly we have fucking 400 APM for a moment there. And then it slowly comes back.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Just forget about it. And yeah, if we don't... I think this might be our promo game, guys. But if we don't, we'll obviously be doing another one. Air Viper, thanks for the 2-month resub, dude. Okay, we're doing another one. So, people who just joined the stream, you guys get a chance now to see what we're talking about. I wasn't sure if that was going to be our promo. I think the next game will be our promo. But, yeah, dude, this is Silver. Silver 3 specifically. Zerg for B2GM. If you're someone who's brand new to StarCraft, I highly recommend you play like this. Because this is going to teach you how to honestly set up macro. And if you don't have macro, you can't do anything in this game. Might as well be a fucking, you know, I don't know, playing Like if you don't macro at all, you might as well play like Dota, for instance. Like I'm not saying Dota is like a bad game or an easy game or anything like that. I'm just saying like this game is all about macro. It's a common misconception for players to think that this game is not about macro and it's more about micro. And everyone, if you're a new player to StarCraft, what do? You watch a tournament, and what do? They talk about how pro players micro and how, oh my god, look at the fight, it's crazy. And if you're someone who's like, I'm gonna watch streams now, I'm gonna go watch fucking who's it, like the Muslim streamers, someone. I'm gonna go watch a streamer, and what do you see? You watch them set up attacks and timing attacks and micro fights, and they're constantly microing all the time. And you go, why, like, you know, why are we not learning how to micro when that's all I see? And it's because players that are at that high level that you watch and all you see is micro, it's not that they don't macro, it's that they macro so fast that you don't notice that they macro because they're doing it without you even realizing it's happening. Because they're so good at it. And how do you get so good at it? You do it a lot. You master it. You repeatedly do it yourself until you can actually handle it to go, wow, I'm really fast at it now too. And that's how it works. You have to build yourself up to get better at the game overall. So what we did here so far is obviously I made my hatcheries in group 5. So group 5 is my hatcheries. I'm making drones. I'm going to make a pool now around this supply. It's fine. And then we're going to make our... we're scouting the expansion. All we're looking for this is to go, is this going to be an expansion or not? That's all we care about. We care about nothing else. Is he expanding or is he not expanding? And if he's not expanding, you know, we're going to make a spine crawler. If he is expanding, we're not going to make a spine crawler. More than often than not, you're going to see people who don't expand in silver. Even if they're not going to attack you, they still don't expand. And that's where builds that don't make sense come into play. If you have a build, another way to say this is you can do anything in StarCraft 2 efficiently, and it beats anything in StarCraft 2 inefficiently. But if both builds are efficient, now suddenly there's rock, paper, scissors involved where like greed loses to all in. But if you don't play efficient, you can do whatever you want. If you play efficient, you can do whatever you want, and you can beat someone else who does whatever they want if it's done inefficiently. So, okay, let's see. Did he expand? Let's see. No, he didn't expand. So now, how do we fix the problem here? Let's make a spine crawler. Now, if he all-ins me, spine crawler is going to help a lot. So again, just another way to explain it is in StarCraft 2 at high level, when everybody just plays efficient, by default you play efficient because you're high level. If you have one guy who plays really greedy, and you have another guy who plays really all-in, generally speaking, all-in beats really greedy. It's like rock, paper. It's like a rock is the all-in guy, and a pair of scissors is the really greedy guy. And rock just smashes the shit out of those scissors, and you're like, oh, well, the all-in guy beat the greedy guy. And then now if you have an all-in guy, and he plays against a really safe guy, suddenly the safe guy beats the all-in guy. And then finally the last one, you have a safe guy versus a greedy guy. The greedy guy gets an edge against the safe guy, and the greedy guy will beat the safe guy. This is where StarCraft 2, very simple terms, kind of comes into play. And that's where like those things actually matter at high level. But if you have a guy who just does everything inefficiently, he doesn't even know what he's doing. He just has a build that makes no sense. Like he's going to expand, but he's going to make tier 3 tech first before he expands. That kind of a player will never beat anything. So even if you have a situation now where... a greedy guy is supposed to lose to an all-in guy. If you have a greedy build versus an all-in build, but the all-in build's done so poorly and inefficiently, the greedy build still wins because it's done properly. That's why this matters. That's why I don't want you to scout in Silver League other than did he expand? Because if you scout more and if you overthink things, you're going to make your build fall apart. And you're also going to waste a bunch of time looking at his build and going, what am I doing right now? I don't know what I'm doing. So again, what I've done so far this game, to rehash again, Mineral Focus took a gas after. Mineral Focus took my gases after. I did not ever prioritize my gas before my mineral lines. Now I'm at a point where I'm fully saturated on the mineral line. And I'm also, on both my bases, on my main and my natural. And now I'm going to take my third, and I'm going to make safety roaches. So I made 7 roaches. It's 6 and 8. Between 6 and 8, like we always say. Between 6 and 8 roaches is great. We made 7. Wonderful. Let's get roach speed. Let's get weapons. Let's make another queen. We actually never made a queen, so our creep set's going to be terrible this game, but it's okay. We'll work on it now. Okay, it's okay. Let's eject our bases. Let's eject our bases. And let's transfer drones now, or rally points of drones to the third base. Let's also take our oversaturated drone, the one drone, and rotate it to the third base. Because again, we're trying to clean up our economy and make good base. Good base. Good base. Good base. Good base. Okay. And now, when our queen spawns, we're gonna put a creep tumor out, and we're gonna make another queen behind it. So we're gonna put one creep tumor out and probably go inject our base. Actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just have this queen right now run to our third base so it can inject it right away. And then when it's done, and then this new queen will just keep injecting this base right here. Meanwhile, we're droning all the way to 66. I don't know what my opponent's doing. What if he's going carriers, guys? What if he's going Dark Templars? What race is he even? I don't even know what race he is. I can't remember. What if he's going battle cruisers? I don't fucking know. Does it matter? It doesn't matter. Because if he does a build inefficiently and I do a build efficiently, I'll still win either, no matter what it is. So now we're at 68 drones. Let's take our gas. This base is fully saturated. Let's take another base. Because we want to expand. Every time we fully saturate the mineral line, we take another base. And let's inject our bases. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. Make a couple overlords because we're really close to supply blocking. And do I have a Hydra started? I do. Do I have more than one Evo chamber? I don't. So let's make another Evo chamber. Let's saturate our gases. 1, 2, 3. Right click. 1, 2, 3. Right click. Okay. Make Hydra upgrades. 63 drones. We need 3 more. Right there. Put 1, 2, 3. Right click the gas. Hatchery. Shift 5. Right click our mineral line. Now we're going to make Hydras all the way to 120 supply because this is the second safety round of units again. So 120 supply of Hydra coming in right now. Meanwhile, let's start spreading creep. We have no creep at all this game. Our creep is abysmal. Let's start spreading it. We definitely should have done it earlier, but it's okay. As long as you try to keep doing it, it's okay. So we just inject our hatcheries right there as well. Inject, inject. Inject, inject. Inject, inject. Start upgrades. We can start level 2 weapons. Level 1 carapace. We have 1 creep tumor connecting our main to our natural, and 1 creep tumor starting to connect our third to our natural. And let's put another creep tumor over here because we're over here. And now we have 120 supply of Hydra. So let's rally all of our hatcheries to the fourth base. And let's go ahead and make drones. We want to now make drones to 85. 85 is like our ideal stopping point for a good economy to allow us to remax constantly. Okay, let's go ahead and rotate drones around because, again, we're doing base upkeep management here. Every time a patch mine's out, fix that shit. Don't let it inefficiently mine. So drone count now is great. We just made enough drones to hit 85. And now we can take another base. Let's just take this base. Who cares? A close space to the next base you have. That's fine. Let's inject our bases. Inject your bases. Inject your bases. Let's make some overlords because we're super close to supply blocking. Let's inject our bases. Actually, we should have made a creep tumor with this guy, but it's okay. Whatever. Just do something with it, right? And now we can start making creep again after that's over. Saturate our gas. Saturate our gas. And let's start making hydras again. Because we're at our ideal drone count of now 85. 85 is great. Let's go ahead and make our hydras. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. And spread our creep. Meanwhile, we can inject our bases. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. And I just noticed there's 2 problems in the main base. Number 1, we're still layer. Let's start a hive. Number 2, we have too many drones. Let's rotate them over. This base has got too many drones as well. Let's rotate them to the new base. And since mineral patches are now starting to mine out, let's take another base. So we can keep macro pumping constantly. Okay, let's go back to doing the same macro sequences of Zerg. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. Spread our creep. Spread the creep. Spread the creep. Spread the creep. Spread the creep. Now this left side of the map is really light on creep timers. Let's grab our queen and let's bring it over here and start spreading creep on this side. Meanwhile, let's make a bunch of hydras for more supply to upgrade our our total supply. Let's also grab 1 hydra and go shift, a move, a move, a move, a move, a move on the left side of the map, and now 1 hydra again. Right side, a move, shift, a move, a move, a move, a move. So now I have 2 hydras going on both sides of the map, checking every expansion that can exist. That way I'm not going to have a situation where I go, This guy hid bases on me for 12 minutes. Oh god, I didn't realize. So we're checking where we want to attack, because the way we want to attack is we always want to go outside in, not inside out. So always attack the most exposed base first. Spread some creep. Spread some creep. Spread creep. We just spread that creep, and this creep can't go anywhere else really. Just put it there, and we're done with that one. Now let's inject our bases. Inject, hold shift, click, click. Because we can queue the injects up. Inject, hold shift, click, click. It'll queue up the injects. And now the inject goes 1, finishes, 2, finishes. Let's make upgrades. Let's finish off our supply to max supply. And we just realized this guy has no base there because we just scouted it. But he does have something here, so let's go like this. A move, shift, A move, shift, A move. So now my army is A moving the Terran's bases. I did not click the building, I clicked the mini-map, okay? Just make sure you guys know that. Don't ever click a building. It will make your Hydras really stupid. We clicked the mini-map, which targets the ground where the expansion was. You can also click the ground too if you want to. I could have clicked there, that would be totally fine. It doesn't have to always be off the mini-map. It's just a concept. Let's get a Lurker Den. Just in case this game turns into a base trade, it'll help a lot in that situation. Let's fix our drone count. Send drones over somewhere new. Drone count currently we need 2 more, so let's make 2 more drones. We're down by 2, so we're back to 85 now because we can tell by mousing over top right. Now let's inject our bases. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep, dude. Spread that creep. And spread that creep. Now our natural is oversaturated, so let's grab some drones off of it. Fix this base. Grab 8 drones off so we're not horribly mining. Send them over to another base that we need to mine from. And now that we're getting really high here, let's take a couple gases. We can make 2 drones again because we just made those 2 zones into gas, which means they're going to go away. So fix it. Now let's remax Hydras because, you know, we have a moment to spare here. So hold down the H key for Hydras. And we're remaxed. Now what are we going to do behind that? Inject our bases. Inject our bases. Inject our bases. Transfer these drones over because they're oversaturated. Go to this base maybe now. And spread our creep. Spread our creep. Notice how our creep, even though we started creep really late, it's actually still looking pretty good in this game because we're prioritizing it. So we forgot to do it early, but now that we realize, oh yeah, let's spread creep again. Our creep is monstrous either way. Spread some more creep over that way. And now that we have a bunch of active tumors, let's hold shift and tell this queen to inject that hatchery now afterwards. Now we can do the all attack all over again. Let's attack this base first. This base second, right here third. We'll go there. So what we're doing now is if this guy has this base, because we just cleared that base out a second ago, what if this base exists now? Now we're going there first. So now we're going to go into Lurker upgrades because we have Lurker. Just in case we need it. What's our Evo Chamber upgrades look like? Let's get level 3 Carapace. Inject our hatcheries. Inject our hatcheries. Inject our hatcheries. And inject our hatcheries. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread our creep. Spread that creep. Spread that creep, dude. Spread that creep. Army's attacking him, but you know what? Forget about it. Forget about it. Because we're spreading creep right now. And you know what creep's doing for us? It's giving us map control. Fuck yeah. And again, this is just one of those things where I don't care what he's doing because I know what I'm doing is efficient, and if my opponent does anything inefficient, I'm gonna crush it. We start worrying about efficiency when we start worrying about more things in StarCraft 2 about our opponent once we know he's capable of playing efficient. And literally Diamond League is when that really starts happening. Maybe a little bit in Platinum, but really Diamond League is when players can start playing efficient. So we're in Silver. We're not really worried that our opponent's going to be all over the place with efficiency. We should just worry about ourselves. The more we worry about opponent, the less we worry about ourselves. And if you can't even handle doing the build yourself yet, you're going to fuck your build up if you worry about your opponent too much. Which is also why every single time we get promoted, remember how our max out now is at 10 minutes and 30, and in Bronze it was 11 minutes? Guess what it's going to be in Gold League? It's going to be 10 minutes. And guess what it's going to be in Platinum League? It's going to be 9:30. We're going to be maxing out faster and faster and faster and faster every time we get higher and higher and higher because we need to be able to play efficient to be able to progress through the leagues properly. So look at this. Look at the supply. Nothing has died in this game. But watch the supply on top of the screen. My opponent did not fast expand. He did not. But you know what's going to happen? we're going to take a huge fat lead because we, like, again, it's not because we're killing him. It's not because we're harassing him. It's not because I'm metagaming him and I'm like, I'm proxying you. Just kidding. I'm not really, and you're overreacting. I'm not doing anything to him. I'm just macroing. I am just focusing on myself as fast as I can. And if my opponent were to attack me with 44 supply versus me being 70 plus right now, would I die? Definitely not. I'd be totally fine. I would not die because if I'm already almost doubling a supply at this stage of the game, just imagine what it's going to look like 2 minutes from now. At like 8 minutes, I'll probably be, instead of like 30 to 40 supply ahead, I'll probably be like 60 supply ahead. It'll just keep growing further in my lead because I'm playing as efficient as possible. For, again, what I think a silver player can handle. Because again, we're not. I'm just gonna I'm gonna give you guys a disclaimer, okay? You know how it says our max out here is 1030. Just so you guys know, you can max out with this composition as Zerg at like 8 minutes. At GM level, 8 fucking minutes. So I'm still giving you guys a lot of breathing room here. It's not like 1030 is pristine GM macro. It's not. It's just what I think would be. If you do that good in silver, you're gonna fucking crush. You will crush your opponent because look at us already. We are cruising here. Because why are we cruising? Mineral line's fully saturated. Gases are taken right after mineral line's fully saturated. And what do we do? It's a 3-step process, okay? It's a 3-step process. Let me back it up 1 second and look at it really fast. 3-step process. Step number 1, fully saturate the mineral line. Step number 2, take gases after mineral line is fully saturated. Step number 3, take an expansion once we take our gases. So fully saturated mineral line follows up into taking our gases, follows up into taking a 4th base. And we do it over and over and over, and this applies to Terran, Protoss, and Zerg, and players in silver, bronze, gold, and most of platinum don't do that. Players in lower leagues tend to do things like this where they get to half a mineral line on their saturation and then they just stop. They're like, you know what? It's time to make some tanks and some battle cruisers. No, it's not time to do that. It's time to make fucking economy. It doesn't end until you're done. And when you're done when you have a good economy, not 30. People... So again, I don't care that there are 2 starports that have tech labs on them in his base right now. Because even if he attacks me with what these can do, I can just throw bodies at him all day and overpower it. Because I have macro right now. So again, this is again a fundamental aspect of StarCraft that you have to learn to progress as a player. This is not all of what StarCraft is, okay? The concept of what I'm doing right now, this is not like, okay guys, guess what? Your whole life as Zerg is going to be inject, 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 creep, 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 creep. It's not what it's going to be. That's not going to be your entire life as Zerg. What it is though is this is going to be your entire life as Zerg until you're like Diamond League, because if you're not fast at it and you're not good enough to do it like basically if you can't do it so fast that you have all this extra time to do other shit, well then yes, you have to keep doing it until you get that fast at it. You have no choice, because if you can't do it that fast, you're gonna fall behind for no reason, just like how our opponent in this game is falling behind for no reason. We have this super fat supply lead that there's really no reason why we should have that supply lead. And it's just because the build is inefficient. Like the 3rd base isn't even taken yet, and there's fucking gases built at it already. Again, I don't want to shit on people's. I don't like doing this to the degree where I want to shit on someone's build. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying efficiency, right? You actually mine. Here's the thing. Let me explain one more concept. I haven't said it this way at all yet in B2GM 2021. This is the first time I'm going to say it this way. You can actually mine gas faster if you prioritize mineral lines first. And why does that make sense? SCVs, depots, command centers, overlords, drones, hatcheries, queens. All of these things develop an economy, and all of these things cost pure minerals. Zero gas for any of these things to be made. And the faster you can pace your build to make more workers means the more gases you can have active all at once. Which is exactly why, even though my opponent did a gas-focused build like this and like this, he went really quick battlecruisers with tanks, and he has fucking gases at his third before he's even started a command center. I am mining double his gas. Because, even though I was the one who went for minerals, then gas, minerals, then gas, minerals, then gas, I am still mining double his gas. I did not do a gas priority. But I'm mining double his gas, and you know what this represents? This is per minute. Every single minute, I get double gas, double gas, double gas, double gas. Because we have double his harvester count. He doesn't have anywhere near the amount of resources we do. So even though he's like, I'm going to rush my battlecruisers, 4 battlecruisers aren't going to cut it versus endless waves of hydras. When we're talking like, I could literally, within my economy that I have right now and how the game would shape up, I could probably attack him with hydras non-stop over and over and over and over. And I could make probably about like 400 hydralisks, which is about 800 supply worth of hydras before I really run out of money at this point. Because I've already developed a bank as well with max supply. And it's going to keep going up because why? I'm doing base management. I'm grabbing red harvester counts and turning them into white harvester counts, which means I'm making them go from non-efficient to efficient. I am not allowing my economy to be red all day. I'm always upkeeping my base. So you just need to understand how to develop an economy in this game is important. And once you understand that, then you can go into your weird builds with like, I'm going to go mash BCs or whatever. And now we're going to just speed it up and we'll see what the attack looks like. So we got to his, let's back up just for a second. So we get to his base and it's some bio, some Thor. Again, I'm not microing at all here, guys. Zero micro involved for me. What am I doing what am I doing instead of microing? Making creep tumors. Injecting my hatcheries. Rotating my drones around that are not efficient. Half of my army doesn't even help fighting the BCs. And what happens? All my hydras die. To have like all of his BCs fight half my hydras, and he just owned the shit out of my army in terms of efficiency. He did a great job right there. That was super well done. Like in terms of what he had, he has a very low supply, so he took a good fight there. He's killed a good amount of my shit, and he's doing it even more. In terms of army versus army, he's definitely killed more than I've killed. But I've also happened to kill some of his SCVs, and I've killed some of his buildings already. So that's why his resources lost are higher than mine. But in terms of just straight up army loss versus army loss, I have lost more. And it seems like the pace is gonna keep continuing that way, because I'm about to kill I'm killing SCVs, which is his economy, which, you know, I mean, it doesn't count as his army, so it still means his army is being microed well. But he's gonna kill my hydras with his tanks. He's going to kill more hydras with his battlecruisers when they arrive. But it doesn't matter, because the income for him is incredibly low versus the income for me. And again, he might kill the first wave, but it doesn't ever end, because we just dropped him down. I don't know what he was at before. I think he was at like 90 supply or something. I can't remember. He was at like 90 supply or some shit, and now he dropped down to like 50. We were maxed out, and you know what we dropped down to? We maxed out again. We're instantly maxed again. And look at my bank. I could max again. It's not even like, oh god, this is the only time I can max again. No, I could max again. And you know what happens again after that? I could max again. And then after that, I could max again. And why is that? I have enough money to remax indefinitely, as long as I don't let my bases deplete and sit there, deplete and sit there, deplete and sit there. I am upkeeping my base for infinite maxes. The only thing in this game that will tell me that I can't max anymore is when the mineral patches and gases literally deplete on the map entirely. When the map just dries up of resources because I've mined all of it. Then I can't build anymore because I have no more money to mine. It's all gone. But that's not going to happen until like 30 minutes in the game. I have so much time to mine the rest of the map. And if I keep him contained like this all day, because he just has an inefficient build and he's trying to defend 200 supply waves of Hydras with like 80 supply or 60 supply at a time of like tanks on a high ground, he'll just die over time because I'll slowly break little by little by little. Piece by piece will die of Terran. And see how Terran right now, he's like, oh shit. Whew. I'm not dead yet. I still got a chance. I'm setting up my natural again. He's setting up his natural again, guys. We are setting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're setting up our 7th base here pretty soon. This is not the same kind of economy. So when this army gets over here, what happens is we just insta kill everything. It all dies because there's just not enough for Terran to survive here. And then, you know, that's really it. How do you know when to prioritize economy units versus army units? Like, what if you prioritize spending resources on building economy and the opponent attacks you with a bigger army and beats you? That doesn't happen, Dimco. You see, it's a fallacy. You're talking about high-level StarCraft when everybody knows what macro is. This is not that. This is Silver League. And this also exists all the way into Platinum League. Diamond League is the first league when people really understand how to consistently make an economy properly and do a build properly. Diamond players even mess up the builds constantly themselves. But if you have a player that does not understand core concepts of efficiency, this is what you get. You get a player who hasn't even attacked another player. It's 0 things have fought yet one player is 80 supply above the other one. This should not happen. The only reason why it happens is because one player decided to stop making workers at 44 and the other player stopped making workers at 84. One player is on 2 bases, the other player is on 5 bases, soon to be 6 bases. Terran, it's not like, oh, well, it's Zerg vibe. Terran can do it too. Terran, I literally have a Terran series. Every race can play efficiently. If you do a build where you go 2 bases on 40 workers and you tech to double starport battlecruiser and you do that, the only way that this makes sense is if this is for a timing attack. And if it is not for a timing attack, it doesn't make any sense. And you should also, another point I would make here is, you should not be attacking in terms of micro until Diamond League. You literally should not do an aggressive build until Diamond. And the reason why is because if you cannot properly macro, what the fuck makes you think that you can macro while microing at the same time? If you can't do easy macro, how can you do hard macro? You can't. It means you're going to tunnel vision. And it means that you're going to not macro at all. And it means that you're going to over micro units and be like, why does my opponent have 100 supply more than me? I killed more than it seemed like I lost. Yet, for some reason, he has 100 more supply than me every time we fight. Like, why do I feel like I have to always climb a mountain every time I'm fighting this guy? Because you're not macroing. That's why. Again, it's just macro. Like, I'm trying to teach you guys the concepts of macro. And again, if anyone's just joining the video right now, or the stream right now, again, these are going to be videos in my YouTube channel, and I post all of them all the time, so you have tons of content to catch up on. And if someone here is watching the YouTube video, let's just say you skip to the point right here. Maybe I just told you for the first time, and, you know, you're starting to... I feel like each time, piece by piece, people are starting to understand and grasp what I mean. I'm really breaking down why macro is superior to everything in this game. And again, it's not because... And it's not like, oh, well, high-level players, they don't macro. Yes, they fucking do. They just macro so fast that you don't really notice that they do it. That's how good they are at it. Why are they so good at it? Because they do it every single game. It's not like they do it 1 out of 10 games. They do it every single game. Just like you should. And you as well will get so good at it that you do it so fast that you can now also micro. Multitask. Multitask starts around Diamond League because that's honestly... Everyone below Diamond League plays really slow. And they can't multitask because if you can't properly macro, You can't multitask. You have to be able to play fast enough to macro faster than what was required out of the game. Like, here's an example. Here's a for instance. If I have 25 seconds, okay, listen to me. If I have 25 seconds to inject 4 of my hatcheries and also spread every creep tumor on the map that I have, because that's the cooldown of what I'm going for. 25 seconds is how long it's going to take. If it takes me 35 seconds to do that, guess what? I'm not macroing fast at all. Because not only do I have to spread my creep and inject my hatcheries, I also have to check my economy. I also have to check my upgrades. I also have to check my tech. There's a lot of things I got to do that I don't have time for.
You touch my tra-la-la.
So I need to get faster at the core concepts of macro. But now let's say, for instance, let's say to do something that I have 25 seconds to do, let's say it only takes me 8 seconds. So I have 17 seconds to spare. Well, guess what I can do with those 17 seconds to spare? I can now do shit. Like, I can now be like, cool, make sure everything's running well in my base. Like, do a quick pass on it. And I can also do things like scout. I can also do things like micro.
Macro so fast your macro is micro.
That's right. Thank you very much, People Man, for the 200 bits. It's just, you do it, you get better, and you do it so often, you do it so much that you get faster at it, that you do it faster than what is allotted for, like, this is what you need to be able to do it in. But suddenly you're doing it in like 1/5 of the time that is allotted for it. And the other 4/5 of that time, the other like 20 seconds or whatever, that's just available now. Micromanagement. That's why when you watch a really high level player, when they stream, it's like this guy's top 20 GM player or some shit. And you watch him play, you're like, dude, this guy's always just using units and attacking someone. And the reason why is because when he macros, it doesn't look like this, where he's like, macro, creep, he's going like this. Macro, creep, done. And you're like, the fuck, dude? He just did that so fast? How did he do that so fast? Because he's done it 5 million times. And he's really good at it at this point. If you've done it 7 times in total, don't expect to be really good at it yet. You need to practice. You need to, if you've done it for 1 day, guess what? The guy you watch that's that fast at it probably did it for like 5 years. So you definitely have a lot of time to improve on it. I'm not going to say it's going to take you 5 years, because if you watch this series, you have a jump start on everything, because you understand what concepts make sense and like what is actually good. It will not take you 5 years. Honestly, I would say a realistic goal here, if you're someone who's like, Vibe, I've never played StarCraft before, how long do you think it would probably take me if I really was religious about watching your series? How long would it take me to get to like Diamond, to where I could actually start microing? I'd be like probably 1 to 2 months. If you're really slow at it and you have or you just don't have a lot of time to play, let's say you play once every like 3 days, maybe 3 months. But it's very doable if you just understand the concepts of building an economy, managing an economy, and managing your mechanics of your race. And for Zerg, it is literally managing your economy and injecting your hatcheries and spreading your creep. And then whenever your army dies, just remax. It's so important. So important. And yeah, this guy, he just doesn't have enough, and he's just gonna die. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense, guys. I think this is probably gonna be our promotion game. I feel it. So we'll see if it happens. And yeah, I hope what I've said so far again is sticking for people, and you guys learned something. Oh, I called it. Nice, man. This is our promo. Hell yeah. Thank you for watching, everybody. This has been Silver 2. Or sorry, that was Silver 3. Now we're in Silver 2, so next video will be Silver 2. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found a lot of things here useful and informative. And you're growing yourself as a player, and you feel like everything's becoming stronger for you. But, guys, much love. Take it easy. I will see you in the next one. And yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm repeating myself a lot. Until next time. See you guys.